Good evening, it's April 5th, 2025, and we're in 6B today, and it's my pleasure, it's Saturday, it's my pleasure and honor to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today, Mr. Jeckovich?
Very good, thank you.
You're looking well. Did you have a nice dinner?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're reading Mr. Jeckovich's book the second time around, and it's titled Their Mother's Sons. It talks about Mr. Jeckovich taking care of his mother from age 11 to when she passed away to age 89. Her name was Anna Targus Jeckovich, and the book is titled Their Mother's Sons. And it's a very interesting book, and we're the second time around. We're on chapter 5, and he's in the military, based in camp in Evansville, Indiana, and he met a real nice girl. He's his girlfriend over the last month or two, and he's been visiting her on a regular basis in Owensboro, Kentucky. So that's where we're going to pick up on the book, and that's how we'll leave it. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, a very simple motto, but a very good one, and that reads, live for something rather than die for nothing. Live for something than rather die for nothing. That's right, huh? Live for something and rather die for nothing. Mr. Jeckovich, by the way, during World War II, he received the Bronze Star Medal, the Purple Heart Medal. Did your Purple Heart have your name on the back?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Army Good Conduct Medal, American Campaign Medal, European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal with 3 Bronze Stars, World War II Victory Medal, Army of Occupation Medal with a Germany clasp, a Combat Infantry Badge, a Sharpshooter Badge with carbine, pistol, and machine gun bars. But during the war, you mostly used a heavy-duty machine gun. Right?
Yeah.
That was your primary weapon, right?
Those heavy weapons, yeah.
Heavy weapons. The Marksman Badge with rifle bar, the Honorable Service Lapel button from World War II. Yeah. During World War II, Mr. Jeckovich was shot in the shoulder by a sniper, beat up, bombed, stabbed, still a shrapnel.
Lost a hip.
Lost a hip, yeah. Frostbite and trench foot.
I got frostbite right now.
You're still suffering from frostbite 80 long years later.
Yeah.
Wow. We learned a lot of things from World War II, and one of them, for example, if you're ever in a cold weather, say for example skiing, and you get symptoms of frostbite, don't immediately run into the skiing lodge and go by the fire. The best way to resolve that problem is make a snowball and rub the snowball on the frostbite area, and then it'll get the blood circulating again. So we learned many, many things during World War II, and we're still using those things today. Yeah, and we're still using those things today. There's many great ideas. There's many great ideas. Well, we're almost done with your chapter 5, and this is getting to know you when you were with Ann Mahaney in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And you're getting to tell her at this point that, you know, your time's up. You're going to probably be shipped overseas.
Yeah.
And I'll call you when I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll call you when I can, but how long did that take?
I never came back.
Well, I know, but we did call her 80 years later.
Yeah, but she's feeble, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Jeckovich kept his promise, but took him 80 years to deliver on it. He did call Ann back. It was 80 years later. She was in her 90s, and so was Mr. Jeckovich. And believe it or not, she answered the phone.
Yeah.
80 years later, she answered the damn phone. How'd that conversation go?
Well, we didn't go too far because she was bewildered. She didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, maybe a touch of Alzheimer's or something. So her picture, a beautiful young girl, 19 or 20, stayed in your office for 80 years on the wall. What did you do then?
Took the picture down, put my mother's picture up.
Took the picture down, which the wall was stained for a picture being there for so many decades, and put his mother's picture up. That we get back to the same thing as their mother's sons. Their mother's sons. And where did you put her picture?
Put it in, wrapped up on the towel, put it in a safe deposit box.
Yeah. Who would ever think when the last time you seen her, you were being shipped overseas? Who would ever think of that very moment? You're giving Ann a kiss and telling her, I'm going to be shipped overseas. I'll call you when I can. Who would ever think it'd be 80 years later?
Yeah.
Who the hell would ever think? Wow. And another girlfriend Mr. Jeckovich had during World War II was in Haverford West in Wales. This is a more interesting story. He dated Jean Rowan Young while he was another basic training overseas, and they got along quite well. However, we tried to locate her, to speak to her, or speak to her family. We sent investigators to her house in Wales. We even had the Daily Mail, which has a circulation of 1 million, write a story about it. Couldn't find her.
Yeah.
Couldn't find her. We're still looking, so if anyone listening knows Jean Rowan Young from Haverford, West Wales, we'd be be happy to hear the information. And one of the final girlfriends Mr. Jeckovich had during World War II was in Paris. He was in a hospital for several months recovering for his wounds. And when he was able to walk, he met by the lake a beautiful young lady who just left a convent. Her name was Renee, right?
Yeah.
When Renee left the convent, she questioned her faith. She's a Roman Catholic nun. She questioned her faith because she got word that her young mom and dad, which were probably in their early 40s at the most, were killed and tortured by the Nazis. In Paris, it was the Nazis occupied the Nazis occupied Paris for almost 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Until Mr. Jeckovich and many other allies kicked their asses back to Germany. And then Renee got notified that her teenage brothers were also tortured and killed by the Nazis.
Yeah.
So she left the convent. She went in the heart of Paris when the family had an apartment still. And she was a great artist, correct?
Yeah.
How did that go? When you walked in the apartment, what did it look like?
You see pictures of Christ and Jesus, all kinds of stuff up there.
How about high-level officers, German officers?
German officers, yeah.
And why was Renee painting these portraits?
Well, the German officers were egotistical. They like to talk about themselves. And she picked it up and they gave it to the Allies.
Yeah.
Gave information to the Allies.
Yeah. All those German officers were big shots and egocentric, and so they wanted to get their portraits done. But they turned into little whimpering snakes when they lost the war. They immediately, all the SS and all the high-ranking officers immediately did two things. One, they committed suicide, or two, they removed their officer's uniform and became ignorant of the fact that they were murderers and act like they knew nothing about
Yeah,
it.
they were civilians now.
They didn't know nothing about it, you know. And many of them, believe it or not, came to the United States and lived out their life in the United States,
Yeah.
even though they killed so many Americans. We're still catching in the late 90s and early hundreds of people that tortured prisoners in Holocaust camps. It's still going on today.
Yeah.
We're still catching the bastards. But anyways, so Renee left the Roman Catholic convent, and she became an artist to gather information for the French resistance, right?
Yeah.
So we know what happened to Anne Mahaney. We talked to her 80 years later. No leads on Jean Rowan Young from Haverford West, even though a fortune was spent on trying to locate her, and also a full-page story in the Daily Mail. But how did it turn out with Renee? How did Renee?
Renee turned out good, yeah.
But how did it turn out? What happened in the end?
Well, she got shot
Why did she get shot?
because she was getting information from the higher German soldiers, officers. They turned it over to the Allies, and they got wind of it, and they shot her.
They killed her.
Yeah.
So now we have accountability of 2 out of the 3. 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick up on the last few pages of chapter 5, but I need to open up my laptop to use that passcode to get in. What's your dog?
42965.
All right. So let's see where the hell I left off here. Let's see. Somehow that did not appeal to me, and I could think of a bunch of other things to do that afford the opportunity. I had become cynical regarding time away from Anne, and I felt there was a deliberate conspiracy to keep us apart. Naturally, I knew that was not the case, but it seemed that every time I would get something going for myself, someone or something would invariably get in the way and intrude on my good fortune. After return from the Post Theater, we were shown propaganda films and the latest developments of the European theater of operations. That's where you finally got shipped to, right?
Yeah.
European theater of operations.
Yeah.
Would you have rather have gone to the Pacific?
No.
Peering over the heads of most men in the barracks, I did not think my name was on the list. I would have to look more closely at the initial crowd had thinned out somewhat. There's always the list posted on this board there, right? Yeah.
Shipping list.
Shipping list, yeah. Now it was certainty. I was not on it, but half the company was. I was disappointed, but relieved. Perhaps I would see Anne during the interim. I found out later I was not on the furlough list. Sergeant Flood, how was Sergeant Flood?
Very nice guy, yeah.
Good guy. Had requested me for special detail. I was naturally curious as to the nature of the assignment, and strangely, I could not find Sergeant Flood anywhere. Early that next afternoon, there was a posted detail roster on the bulletin board and had my name on it. It seemed eerie to see half the barracks empty. Where'd half the barracks go?
They got shipped out.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Europe, right?
Yeah.
It seemed eerie. Minutes, please.
16.
It seemed eerie. 1 second, please. Posted on lengthy list of men on furlough the next morning.
You want me to wait right here?
Huh?
What?
I'm reading.
Okay. Just under 50, not under 16.
Peering over the head of most men in the barracks, I could not find Sergeant Flood anywhere. Early next afternoon, there was a posted detail roster on the bulletin board that had my name on it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It seemed eerie to see half of the barracks empty. I knew that they were gone as an empty bunk had its own mattress rolled up towards the wall. Where there was once a body laying there, now there was only a bare springs of the bunk showing. And then the next group to come in would use the same mattress, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I met Sergeant Flood in his detail. We were told our duties for the next several days were to inventory the entire supply room, clothing, ammunition, weapons, equipment, and whatever else. Wow, that's a big job. And whatever else there was. We were to complete the assignment by 0500 hours Monday.
Yeah.
That was a big job.
Yeah.
Wow. There I thought goes my chance of seeing Ann. Sergeant Flood explained to us that he had individually picked each of us, knowing that we would do a first-rate job as expeditiously as possible. We were to start the next morning right after breakfast. I was glad for the detail, as it relieved the boredom that was setting up with so much free time available to us now. We were broken up into teams and the work was tedious but rewarding. As we crossed out each page of inventory completed, I did not realize there would be so much equipment and materials stored in the supply rooms. We worked 16 hours a day, only the usual time off for chow and sleep. I managed to squeeze in a call to Ann. Oh, you were able to call her? That was nice.
Yeah.
The call to Ann. Let's see what happens here. I was able, let me pick this up. I was able to squeeze in a call to Ann and told her that half of the company had left on furlough, and I expected to go by the beginning of next week. I would call her, and I would certainly call her during my furlough. Ann sounded despondent, but tried unsuccessfully to hide it from me. I felt bad for her, but did not convey my feelings to her. As usual, she closed by saying she loved me and missed me very much. Okay, it seems as though we would attain Sergeant Flood's goal of completing the inventory by Monday morning. As it happened, we all volunteered to stay over 2,400 hours Sunday to complete it. We were finished a little after 0100 hours Monday and a little bit ahead schedule. Sergeant Flood took us into the mess hall that morning and after completing the inventory. Where's Sergeant Meadows? How was Sergeant Meadows?
He's an old guy, yeah.
Okay. Had prepared a snack for us in the form of a large sheet cake. Oh, wow. With all our names on top of it in red icing. Oh, that's pretty damn nice. Yeah. We're all pleased with the gesture as a token of appreciation for the task we accomplished. In a way, I was saddened.
12.
In a way, I was saddened that the task was completed, for now we're back in the sitting around the barracks, wasting time that can be used in a more beneficial way. So there's a lot of waiting in the Army, right?
Yeah.
Sergeant Flood thanked us. Sergeant Flood thanked us for our cooperation and the outstanding work we had performed. He would certainly keep us in mind whenever there was time that he could be of assistance. We sat and talked, enjoying our cake and coffee, relieved that the detail was over and delighted that we had done a good job.
Yeah.
As I was walking back to my barracks, Sergeant Flood stopped me and thanked me personally for a job well done, and especially how I'd taken control of a major task of the actual inventory. I told him that I had worked in a large department store while I was in school and I had familiarity with this work. That's good. He thanked me again and then remarked rather seriously that I'd be going on furlough beginning Tuesday morning. Wow.
He's going on furlough.
Yeah. He also said in a calm and deliberate manner that he was aware that I was making frequent trips to Owensboro. On my return from furlough, I would be afforded the opportunity, if available, for as many 24-hour passes, as well as on weekends as I desired. I was startled at this pronouncement and thanked him sincerely. He said then sheepishly, I told you to keep your nose clean and your mouth shut, and you'll go places in this man's army. Is that pretty much how it was? Yeah. With that profound statement, he bid me good night and walked towards his barracks. I could not wait to tell Ann the news. Well, the bad news and the good news. That night, after 21 hours, I reached her at home as I told her about my leaving on furlough the next morning. I could detect disappointment in her voice. I felt as she did. Here were 15 days we could be spending together, and instead I'd be leaving to spend a dull, eventful time at home. I told her that I would call her regularly and I'd miss her greatly. Okay, that's getting close to the end of the chapter. We'll pick up on that tomorrow, but I got a lot of text messages. Do you feel like answering any?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you feel up to it?
Yeah.
Okay. When you were a little boy, what was your favorite cartoon?
The cartoon?
Yeah.
Who was those guys on the cartoon?
Huh?
I can't think of it now.
Okay. When you were going on the huge ship, the troop ship over to Europe, did you get seasick?
No, I slept on the deck all the time.
Did a lot of guys get seasick?
Oh yeah, because if you're tree high, your nose is up at the ceiling.
On the troop ship going to Europe, how was the food?
Well, it was the limey shit was greasy.
So Limey is England,
Yeah,
and the cooks aren't good?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Wow. Have you ever been laid off from a job?
No,
No. Wow. Have you ever gone to a psychic, Mr. Jeckovich?
a psychic? No.
I see. Are you a good singer?
I don't know. I never tried.
Okay. Well, your mother made you a lot of dishes, but did you like her cake or your mother's pies better?
I like the stuffed cabbage better.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mr. Jeckovich, you had a lot of different businesses during your time, but when you were working, have you ever quit your job?
No, never quit it.
Never quit. Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. Wow. You remember way back then, you have an excellent memory, but you remember way back then, Mr. Jeckovich, where you went on your first date.
We went to the drive-in.
Drive-ins? Oh, yeah. I guess drive-ins were big then. I don't think you can find a
Yeah.
drive-in now, right?
No.
Wow. What was your favorite subject in school, Mr. Jeckovich?
English.
That was your best, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Do you remember if you had a favorite poem or not?
Poem?
Yeah.
Yeah, know then thyself, for thank God to see as stars it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. Wow. That is really good. Mr. Jeckovich, you did a lot of things in life, but have you ever baked a cake?
Bake a cake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I baked the cake. Eggless, bakeless, butterless cake, yeah.
No kidding. Wow. I know you said you played the organ when you're young.
Organ, and I played what's the other one?
Guitar?
Huh?
Guitar?
No. Organ.
Accordion.
Organ and what's
Accordion. Accordion.
Accordion, yeah.
Did you ever play the bongos?
No.
What did you love about your neighborhood, Orleans Avenue, when you were growing up?
It was a nice neighborhood.
Nice, not many houses.
No, there was only 3 houses on the street.
Yeah. And tell us how you made an ice skating ring there.
Opened the fire hydrant.
Yeah. Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, what is your favorite fruit?
Fruit?
Yeah.
Orange.
Orange. Do you believe in turning the other cheek?
Oh, yeah.
Minutes, please. Mr. Jeckovich, what was your worst vacation memory?
Just under 5.
Worst vacation memory?
Yeah, did you ever take a vacation that didn't work out?
Well, we were going on a Poconos with the family, and I had a radiator leak in the truck. I had to get a whole new radiator in there.
Oh, wow. Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, are you a good artist?
A good what?
Artist.
Artist? Paint?
Yeah,
No, I don't know. I'm not very good at figures, no.
okay. An artist, could you draw? Pictures?
I can draw houses and that, but I
Okay.
can't draw people, no.
I see. Well, as a boy, you mostly played outside, but as a boy on Orleans Avenue, did you ever jump rope?
No.
No. What was your favorite sandwich that your mother made for you at SS Kresge?
Roast beef sandwich.
That was good.
Yeah.
Did she put that on a Kimmelwick roll or just regular bread?
Yeah.
Regular bread or a Kimmelwick roll?
Sandwich roll, yeah. Sit it down in the candy store.
Uh-huh. Mr. Jeckovich, there's a lot of publicity about Bigfoot. Do you think Bigfoot is real?
No.
Okay. I see. What did you love about the Niagara Falls winters, Mr. Jeckovich?
Niagara Falls winters?
What did you love about them?
I love the winters and falls, yeah.
It was pretty, huh?
Yeah.
And didn't you have a snow plowing business there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Niagara Falls was thriving then, too.
Yeah. It had mostly Polish and Italian immigrants, and they did a real nice job. You know, they had they took care of the property well, and they were very clean, and they had a great pride of ownership of their houses, right? Is there a pride of ownership there now?
Yeah.
How's Niagara Falls now?
Oh, it's terrible. It's a dump.
2.5.
It's all closed down. Nobody lives there now.
Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, as a boy, have you ever ridden a tractor?
A what?
A farm tractor?
Oh, yeah.
You did? Wow. That's amazing. Wow.
When I go for Maltese milk down out on the farm, and I said, "Can I drive that tractor?" He says, "Yeah, go ahead, go at it."
No kidding.
Yeah.
Was it like a John Deere tractor?
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Mr. Jeckovich, do you love or hate roller coasters?
Roller coasters?
Yeah.
I haven't been on one of them.
As a boy, didn't you say you went on the Comet in Crystal Beach?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you enjoy that?
No, not really, no.
Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, what is your favorite type of seafood?
Seafood?
Yeah.
Perch.
Perch, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, perch. Wow. Have you ever had a chicken box?
Chicken box? I don't think so.
No? Okay. Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, what do you typically have for breakfast?
Cereal, 2 eggs, and maybe a waffle.
How about oatmeal?
Oatmeal, brown sugar and oatmeal, yeah.
30 seconds.
How many?
38.
Okay. So that's one of your favorites, right?
Brown sugar and oatmeal, yeah.
Brown sugar and oatmeal, right?
Yeah.
Did you have that since a boy?
No, it's picked it up with this, in the Army, I picked that up.
Ah, and maybe that's the reason for your longevity.
Oatmeal?
Yeah, that's a good way. That could be longevity, right?
Yeah.
Seconds.
15.
So what do you think? Do you ever eat oatmeal in the evenings?
No, no.
Just in the morning?
Just in the morning, yeah.
Do you drink a lot of coffee?
No, no.